evening. I'd like to bring the Marlborough School Committee to order at 7:30. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, thank you. So, we have no presentations this evening. Any communications? Seeing none. Superintendent's report.
Thank you.
Welcome to our new superintendent.
Thank you.
For your first meeting, Mr. Bergeron.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'd like to start off the report just by thanking our custodial crew for all the hard work they've done this year to prepare our schools. They create a fantastic, clean, learning and inviting environment for our learning. Just want to thank all of them and all of our summer helpers as well, who assist in getting all of our work done during the summertime. So usually Doug would put that in his report, but I jumped ahead of him this time and put it in mine. So from now on, I'm going to have to cede that to Doug. But I appreciate you letting me do it one last time, Doug. Thank you. I'm also including a draft of my entry plan for the committee to review. I would appreciate if you took a look at it. It's 2 pages, and it's at the end of the documents that were for a handout. If you could just take a look at that and give me any feedback, would be great. I'd like to have that adopted at our September 11th meeting and have that on the agenda. So even though I'm not new to the district, but I think the entry plan is for me to learn as much as I can this new role and talk to people and get a better understanding of what makes the school system tick and what the important things I need to be focused on. That will also be tied into my first year goals that I'm going to be presenting to you in September as well. Will be tied to the entry plan. This summer, I just want to let you know that I established a great connection with the Boys and Girls Club in Marlborough through Chris Duane. Chris and I are very committed to creating a strong working relationship, and we're excited to partner on some potential possibilities down the road. Mary Murphy and I were working to look at using some of our entitlement grants to support our kids at the Boys and Girls Club through maybe some academic tutoring, maybe some EL tutoring. We'll see. We're going to see what we can do. But Chris has been fantastic, and she's opened the door and invited us in to the Boys and Girls Club, and I really want to thank her for that. So I'd love to see us continue to work on a partnership with the Boys and Girls Club and continue to think outside the box on delivering services to kids, not just at school, but outside of school as well. At our next meeting on September 11th, I'd like to bring some of our new administrators to the school committee meeting. They are Seamus Brady, he's the new assistant principal at Kane. Tara Soboleski, she's our ETL at Whitcomb. Jean Nisbet is our new ETL at Kane. Marissa Evanson is the ETL at MHS. Carol Poulin is also an ETL for out of district and also for some MHS students. And Amy Stutters, an ETL at Whitcomb as well. I'd like to invite them to the next meeting so the committee has a chance to welcome them to the district as we usually do. I am also including an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, that the police chief, David Georgie, and I have been working on. The district attorney's office gave us a template to start working from. So what I've included is the work that we've done up to this point. We've not finished it yet, so what you're seeing is still the work in progress. There are some pieces that we need to go through and identify some folks and put their names into the document. The specific reason is that in some recent reform that came out, the act relative to criminal justice reform, there was specific language regarding SROs, which is school resource officers. So the chief and I met to review the current level of staffing, as well as to create a plan moving forward to increase staff at Whitcomb. That's one of my big goals, is to have a resource officer for the high school and also have a resource officer for Whitcomb. I reviewed our salary reserve. I've been working with Doug, and this is definitely a priority for us to help fund in the department. So after Chief Georgie and I met, we did go and speak with the mayor and came to a consensus that we'd be bringing it back to this body, to this school committee for some discussion if there needs to be, but that I would be prioritizing this to try to gain an additional SRO for Whitcomb. My advocacy, obviously, is creating and fostering a positive connection between the MPD, the police department, and the youth in Marlborough. So I appreciate any, support as we continue to figure out how we're going to partner with the police department on this program moving forward. I would anticipate that, I know this is really looking forward, but I would anticipate when we come forward with a budget this year that probably the chief and I will have a joint budget recommendation for a position to move this forward. And in the interim, Chief and I, with the mayor and with your support, we'd like to try to see what we can do about having an officer be at Whitcomb as a steady presence as the SRO. One thing that was not on my report, but I did want to mention, is our social media coordinator, Jill Moore, and she just made this fantastic video to kick off the year. And literally, this is how fast these things change. I wrote down in my notes at home before the meeting that there was 10,000 views. Well, guess what? Now there's 11,000 views. So this has gotten us a lot of great, I would say press, but it's a different type of press. But I really appreciate the good work that she did and the time and the investment she took to make a great video to kick off our year. And it's really, really positive. So I appreciate that. And that's my report.
Can you remind the audience where they can view the video?
Absolutely.
They're not part of that 11,000 people that already have?
If you go on the Marlborough Public Schools Facebook page, it's the third link down. And obviously, it was also linked into our Twitter. And it has been shared and retweeted many times. So I think a lot of people have seen this video, and we got a lot of positive comments about it.
And
So
on our YouTube channel, too.
it was on our YouTube channel as well. That's correct.
Very exciting. So when I was reading through the memorandum of understanding, there was a lot of talk about professional development for the officers. And one thing I might want to add, and we can pass it along to Chief Georgie, is through MASC, at the November conference last year, there was a talk given by an SRO down in like the Rentham area, because I know this, one of the school committee members that brought her, and that's where she's from. She put together a really amazing SRO program, and she goes around the state training SROs. So I can, bring her to the table if that would be helpful.
That'd be fantastic.
Any questions? Seeing none. Thank you. And are you going to have your first report?
I sure am. If you will allow me.
Mr. Diaz, our new Director of Finance.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'd like to start with good news, with an update on all of the capital projects we've completed this summer. At the Kane Elementary, we've done a full LED lighting upgrade in the entire school. All of the phones at Whitcomb have been replaced with a IP-based system, which should be a lot more reliable for us. We've also done some reconfiguration within the main office at Whitcomb to allow for better use of these lighting windows in that space, as well as the creation of one additional office for a staff member there. The Whitcomb front driveway island has been removed, or most of it, towards the front to allow for some improved snow management as well as better traffic flow. Here at DEC, we've done some concrete repair on the outer edges of the building. Over at the high school, we did a lot this summer. The cafeteria floor had some minor repairs that were done. We're still looking at whether or not we'll need to do a full replacement for next summer. So we'll continue looking at that. The music and art room were upgraded. There was some movement between the two rooms, as well as the installation of a new Apple environment. They both look great. The special education kitchen at Marlborough High had a full gut rehab. The space looks fantastic. It was ongoing throughout the summer, and they're still doing one minor thing tomorrow morning, but it should be done by tomorrow morning. It should be a great space, great use for the kids. The Little Theater had a complete replacement of the lights, sound, and projector. And the high school TV studio is now a professional TV studio. It looks fantastic. It's a space that we should all be very proud of. And if you have an opportunity to, definitely check it out. It looks great. And there were also, we did a district-wide printer upgrade on all printers throughout the district, which will allow for easier maintenance, as well as it will be more cost-effective to have similar printers throughout the district. So I want to thank Andy White and his team for the work this summer. They were very, very busy. There are 3 projects that we're still looking to complete, one being the vestibule over at Richer. We're hoping to complete that either on the December or February break. At Hildreth, the STEM lab equipment is still an ongoing project for us. We had some engineering complications that came about, and we're still working through that. We don't have an estimated completion date on that project yet, as we work through those issues. And there's continuing work on our security cameras throughout the district, and we would like to thank the city for the support as we seek to complete that project. Outside of capital projects, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education approved our food service contract extension for FY19, and I'm currently in the process of getting the signatures for that contract. This particular contract expires in FY19. That's the last extension that we can get for that contract. So there'll be an RFP going out in the spring for FY20 services, food services. In preparation for a new transportation contract that's also coming on the pipeline, as well as the addition of a new elementary school. We have engaged my professional association, MASBO, to perform a transportation review of our current operations. They'll come in, look at what and how we're doing things, and they'll have some recommendations for us. This comes at a great value to us because it's through MASBO, and we'll be sharing their feedback with you in late fall or early winter. The goal, obviously, is to identify operational improvements that we can implement by or before the new school opens. I'm happy to report that the summer program for food services was a great success. Over the 19 service days, we served roughly 2,600 breakfasts, 2,800 lunches in 3 sites at no cost to students. The feedback from staff and students were great, and we're hoping to expand that for next summer. Last but not least, I just want to extend my gratitude to this committee, to Superintendent Mike Bergeron and my fellow administrators for the great support and very warm welcome over my first 2 months here. And I'm looking forward to a long career here in Marlborough. So thank you.
Great. I actually have a question regarding the transportation review. Is that concurrent with the review that we need to do about redistricting? Do they work together, or how does that work?
Do you want to talk about how we're going to be looking for a bid for a redistricting? There's 2 different bodies, but I'll let Doug talk about it.
This is separate, but related.
Yeah.
In the sense that as we look to undertake that project, and that RFP has not gone out yet.
Okay.
We're in the design stage for that right now. This is just MASBO coming in. They bring in some senior transportation coordinators that have been working in Massachusetts for a long time. And they look at our operations and they say, this is what we recommend that you implement to make things better. And so we're doing that before because we hope that their feedback will guide our efforts moving forward as we look at, what next steps we're taking in the district.
And okay, so then they kind of look at our operations, we have our ducks in a row, then we do the city sweep and figure out how we're gonna redistrict. How much influence, I guess, do we have to take those recommendations and have the bus company comply with what we're asking for?
I think when we look at the contract with the bus company, a lot of the language about how we operate is not in that contract. It's more about how many buses we have, what the cost of the bus is per day, but they really rely upon us to determine how we actually do the transportation. So like currently, we pretty much allow busing for anyone. Even if you live across the street from the school, we can pick you up.
Right.
So I think what we're looking at is, and I appreciate Doug taking this on right away, is that if we can bring kind of some common sense approaches to some of our transportation, I think we can at least talk about it in this committee. We can see if it's something that we do want to look at. And we might be able to start tackling some of those issues well before the new school's even online. So that way we can start that process well before we ever have to do a redistricting.
Great, thanks. Mr. Mack.
Does the MASBO evaluation take in, do they work with the city as well as us on the, because obviously, as we talk about that, we provide for all basically, but some of the consideration is that not all schools are accessible by sidewalks. So if there's the consideration of, you know, the cost of putting sidewalks in versus running buses, so on and so
Right.
forth, so.
So they might have some recommendations that come from those observations. So what we're hoping to do is to bring them in so that they can give us some feedback that we can then use to go to this committee or the city and just provide that information. So I
Okay.
think it would be important to have that outside perspective.
Yeah,
These are
sure.
folks that have been doing transportation for a long, long time, so they'll be able to give us some good feedback.
That's great.
Is it a free service that MASBO offers?
It isn't, but we think it's a great value, roughly $6,000.
Yeah. I know a lot of the professional organizations, that's part of the way they support themselves. They get dues from their member
Plus.
districts, but also, I know in ours, professional, MASC, they have a couple of for-fee products that they make available. And compared to hiring someone from the outside, they tend to be a better value, yeah. Great. One more question, yes.
With the start of school, is it possible to get some sort of online presence or reminder about the online lunch payment option that we have? It's a good time of year to remind parents to fill those accounts, and it's a great
Great
service,
idea.
which I can't remember, what's it called? Lunch Money School, Send Money to School?
Send
or
money to school.
SendMoneyToSchool.com. Highly recommend it.
That's
so.
what it's called?
Well, that's the
Yeah.
name of the company that does the process.
But I think I remember last year, there was something posted on Facebook, and I think it's just a good reminder to parents to.
But we're not using Facebook for that reason anymore, right?
But we
Didn't you
can
teach us that?
certainly promote it through the app, and we can certainly promote it on our district website. So I think that's something that we can definitely do.
I'm a Facebook person, and I just feel like it's easy to share and to remind parents to do it, so, but whatever you decide, you're the boss.
Noted.
Noted, I am the boss.
Don't say that too often.
Any other questions for Doug? Seeing none, moving on. Acceptance of minutes of the June 26th school committee meeting.
Motion to accept the minutes of June 26, 2018.
Motion made and second to accept. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? Opposed? Carries. Public participation. Public participation.
Nope.
Jody, anything to participate with? You're the public tonight. Nope. Okay. Moving on. Action items. FY19 operating budget transfers. Mr. Diaz.
Me again.
Again.
Tonight, we'd like you to please consider two transfers within the FY19 budget. The first one is roughly $6,500 between the technology licensing account and the educational technology account for Tom Platty to make some additional technology purchases. Second one is at the high school, $2,400 from their general supply account into the dues and membership account for some additional PD at that site.
Motion to approve the transfers as submitted.
Motion made and seconded to approve. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? Opposed?
Thank you.
Carries. So, Mrs. Hennessy is not here, but we will take up policy 7.300, field trips excursions. And Mrs. Matthews, I understand you have some issues that you'd like to discuss? Not on this one?
Let me go
Wait.
to it, sorry.
That's
I
okay.
do have to go back to it.
7.300.
Is it 7.200 or 7.30?
Three.
Because, well, it's referenced as 2 at one point, and in the body of that, it says 3. It says 2, but it's 3. So the regular policy,
Field trip policy, 7.300.
no, that was fine, there was just some typos.
Yep, I see the,
Yeah, that was.
Making them.
Yeah.
so wait, I'm sorry, were they capitalized and you're making them lowercase? When it's
No,
other way around?
it need, right. Well, the principal was not,
Oh, I
and
missed
the
pencil. Oh, yeah,
policy,
gotcha. I see it now. Yep.
so, motion to approve with, as amended.
Motion made and seconded to approve with the amendments. Any discussion? No? So this isn't the one you had the issue with?
No.
And the other one wasn't on for tonight, so
Oh, the other one is, oh, okay.
this
She
is the only one
forwarded
on.
the- Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, now
that's
I
the
just
only one
realized,
on
okay.
it. So that,
Okay, so then it's still in, I guess it's still in committee.
okay, awesome.
Okay, good.
Motion's been made, no conversations, on for a vote. Who, all in favor? Opposed? Carries. 1, 2.
So you have my notes
4,
now
5.
for policy.
Yes, perfect.
Back to them, where it belongs.
Okay,
That's right.
acceptance of donations and gifts. Now I have to go back. Sometimes this is not always the most easiest. Okay. First Congregational Church, filled backpacks for MPS. Was that 71 or something?
77.
77, right, I knew it was an
77
odd number.
backpacks.
77 backpacks filled for MPS students to a value of $3,850.
Motion to accept with gratitude.
Motion made and second to accept with gratitude. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carries. St. Gobain Corporation for the Whitcomb Engineering Program, $1,800.
Motion to approve with gratitude.
Motion made and seconded to approve with gratitude. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carries. Life Touch School Pictures for Jarek at $1,050.89. Kane, $913.02, and Whitcomb, $778.63.
Motion to accept.
Motion made and seconded to accept. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Are you in favor? Okay. Opposed? Carries. Follett buyback program at Jarek School, $528.09.
Motion to accept.
Motion made and seconded to accept. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carries. Thank you very much. Reports of subcommittees. Anything?
Where are we? We have come to an tentative agreement with Unit B.
No?
No? Yes. No, they're going to ratify.
They haven't voted yet.
No, but we've come to an agreement.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
We've come to an agreement.
And
We've
they
come
have
to
a
an
date.
agreement with
They
them,
have
and
a
they have a
date.
date to vote.
Yes.
You're really trying to confuse me. Yes. And we're still negotiating with cafeteria, and hopefully we'll have that wrapped up in the next 2 weeks. It was a
Excellent.
productive summer.
Nice work. Nice work, awesome. And do you have anything to?
There is a new school building committee meeting this week, so I'll report back at the next meeting with any updates.
Excellent. And if people have not driven by there, wow. And Benchmark started clearing out theirs too, so there's, woo,
A lot going on over there.
a lot going on over there.
A lot going on.
Yeah. Any other subcommittees? Nope. Members forum.
Thank you,
Mr.
Madam
Walter.
Vice Chair. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, Rupal, as well, sitting at
Yes.
the table with us.
MEA president again.
Back for another trip. I just wanted to point out that in July, my daughter had the opportunity to attend the one-week Camp Invention STEM camp over at Jarrick, if I have that right, I believe it was. And wow, absolutely loved it. Couldn't stop talking about the projects, the problems, the solutions they were implementing. I was regaled with the stories literally every afternoon on the drive home back from camp. And her experience was not unique because I talked to 6 or 7 other parents who all to a person expressed that their children or child was experiencing the exact same thing and absolutely loving the 1 week. So it's just an example of the type of program that I think our leadership is bringing to our kids to bridge the gap between the end of the school year and the beginning of the school year. And it sort of struck at a good time. They had had a few weeks of vacation and then got into Camp Invention and then had another few weeks to be a kid and have some more summer vacation. So I just wanted to communicate that because not only did she absolutely love the program, but again, the 6 or 7 parents that I spoke with also said that their child had a fantastic time as well, really engaged, really active in problem solving and trying to come up with solutions. So thank you to the district for bringing that to the kids. Thank you to Julie Baker and her crew for sort of manning the ramparts on a daily basis and running it at the ground level. So if we can get that program and others like it for our kids over the summer, absolutely fantastic. And again, great job bringing that to Marlborough. Great.
That's great. And that was 3rd and 4th graders, right?
It was incoming or rising 4th and 5th graders.
Perfect.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's preparing them for the STEAM experience at Whitcomb. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, a light bulb definitely went off in our daughter's head, and I can see she was just fully vested and fully committed to it. So great job on the district's part. Thank you.
Anyone else? So we're ready for the first day of school.
Just want to welcome everybody back, and 6:45 tomorrow morning, I'll be over at the high school. We'll be welcoming students back.
Fantastic. Okay.
Motion to adjourn at
Motion made and seconded to adjourn.
7:58.
At 7:58, a new world record.
Doug, it's not always like this. In fact, now Heidi has more time to go over the warrant with you.
There you go. Okay. And we are adjourned. Thank you.